Good day, everyone, and also to you, sir. By the way, I am Mark Anthony Balyabarasyon from Bunbun Sagay, Camigan Province, Base Criminology, second year college. So, today, I'm going to tackle about the Chapter 1, Filipino Influences, Traits, and Characteristics. So, the Philippines is a meeting point for cultures from all over Asia and the Pacific because it has been a crossroads between East and West, and the merging of culture reflects the country culture and its people. It comes from various ethno-linguistic groups that are negative to the island of migrants. From various Asia Pacific regions, Filipinos are the people who are naturally born to or recognized with the Philippine country. So, that is the Philippines. So, as what I've read, ethno-linguistic. So, what is ethno-linguistic? Ethno-linguistic is a group that is unified by both a common ethnicity and language. So, what is the example of the ethno-linguist ethno-linguistic? So, ethno-linguistic study the way perception and conceptualization influences language and show how that is linked to different cultures and society. So, Philippines, so many places that Filipinos influence the modern Filipino identity. So first is China, second United States, and Spain. So that is the places that Filipinos influence them to our modern Filipino identity. Also, the Filipinos are similar to Malays, but in terms of culture, they are more like the Spaniards. So Filipinos is similar from Malays, but in terms of culture, they are more like Spaniards. The Filipino also claim that a most hot-blooded and brave citizen in the tropical Asian. So, Filipino claim that Filipino is the most hot-blooded and brave citizen in the tropical Asian. And also, Filipinos still honored today like the bayanihan or spirit of kindship and camaraderie. So, Filipino is until now is honored to bayanihan or spirit of kindship and camaraderie. So, let's proceed to the traits and attitude of the Filipino. So, the most well-known traits and attitude of the Filipino. So, there are 6 traits and attitude that well-known in the Filipino. First is hospitality. Next is respect, strong family ties and religions, generosity and helpfulness. 5, strong work ethics. 6 is loving and caring. So, first traits of Filipino or attitude. First is hospitality. What is hospitality? Hospitality is a trait displayed by every Filipino, characterized by heart-warming generosity and friendliness exhibit for foreigners and locals alike. Filipinos are well known for being hospitable. So, that is the first trait or attitude in the Filipino. So there are three sample situation of Filipino hospitality. So there are three situation samples of Filipino hospitality. First sample situation is when a person visits a friend's house, the host greets him or her with a very warm welcome. The host will immediately let their visitor sit down and will prepare a meal or a snack plus drinks for the visitors. The host will insist that friend not leave the house with with an empty stomach. A host will always make sure you had a great time visiting them. So second sample situation. People offer their guest room to visitors if they are going to spend the night. So third, meals offered to guests are very special. A host always finds a way to prepare great tasting food that her visitor wants to eat. So that is the three sample situation of the hospitality. So we will proceed to the next. Next is respect. So respect. This is often observed not just by younger people but also by people of all ages. In the Philippines, respect for one's elders is a tradition. So that is respect. So in respect, there are three ways on how Filipino show their respect. So, first way on how to show the Filipino respect is po and opo. So what is the meaning of the po and opo? These words are spoken by the Filipinos when talking to elders or in order to show respect to persons in authority. These Filipino words means yes when answering or talking to the elders. So second way, pagmamano. Pagmamano, another way of showing respect to the elders when greeting them. This is done by the putting the elders' hands on their foreheads. So, last is Filipinos also show respect at work by making a bow to their employers. So, that is the three ways on respect. So, we will proceed to third, strong family ties and religion. So, what is strong family ties and religion? Filipinos value their families so much that they tend to keep families intact through the generations. Families go to church and pray together because their religion is important and create a strong bond, marking God as the center of their lives. Filipinos believe in only one God and majority of the populations are Catholic. So, the most majority of the population are Catholic. It is a value system of the Filipino to pray before eating, going to bed before the start of the meeting, conferences, or program, gathering, etc. On weekends, most Filipino families make sure to have quality time together by watching television or eating a family meal, watch movies, or going to beach resorts. So, that is the strong family ties and religions. So, now, we'll proceed to number 4. 4. Generosity and helpfulness. So this is the fourth attitude or traits of Filipino. So fourth is generosity and helpfulness. Aside from being hospitable, Filipino are also well known for being generous. So Filipino not only known from being hospitable, but also for being generous. So they are share what they have to the people around them, even when they only have a little. This could be felt during birthdays, weddings, or festa party. When visitors come to celebrate, great tasting special foods are especially prepared for everyone. It is shared by friends, families, or even strangers. When you will be in trouble, Filipino cannot refuse to help you. They are always willing to assist you or lend a hand. So, Filipinos is always assisting you when you are in the trouble. So, five. Five traits or an attitude of Filipino. Number 5, strong work ethics. So what is strong work ethics? Another good thing most Filipino have is being hardworking people. So only a Filipino is a hardworking people. They are always willing to work almost the whole day to provide the needs of their families. Filipino farmers thought earning so little, but they work harder with not much compensation. Aside from their regular work, Filipinos always find creative ways to look for other sources of income, like creating a small business from their home where they sell foods and other items for the convenience of their neighbors. So that is the strong work ethic. So meaning Filipinos are also hard working. So we will proceed to the last traits and attitude of Filipinos. Loving and caring. So Filipinos also is loving and caring. Loving and caring. Because of their generosity, hospitality, and religiosity, Filipinos are found to be sweetest and most loving people in the world. So because of Filipino for being generosity and hospitality and religiosity, so Filipino founds that they are loving and caring. So it is expressed by both foreigners and Filipinos, women, that most Filipino men are so sweet and romantic when it comes to love. So Filipinos is sweet and romantic, but when it comes of love, they will send their beloved flowers, bring her to a very romantic place, text her sweet quotes, and tell often how special she is to them. Filipino women are also romantic and very caring, which often make some foreigners want to marry them. So that is the sixth loving. So that is the sixth traits and attitude of Filipino. So that is the well-known traits and attitude of Filipinos. So now, we will proceed to the negative traits of Filipino. So, In the negative traits of Filipino, there are 15. There are 15 traits of Filipino. First, negative traits of Filipino, fatalism. Second, manyanana habit, crab mentality, hypocrisy, ningas kogon, tardiness, gossiping, blaming, selfishness, disobedience to simple rules and instruction, attention taker, being onion skin, or too sensitive living beyond their means. Possibility 15 is other negative traits. So that is the that is the negative traits of Filipino. So first, negative traits of Filipino is fatalism. What is fatalism? So fatalism is meaning bahala na or come with me and attitude. When Filipinos are facing difficulties and shortcoming, they have this attitude of leaving it up to God to sort things out. An attitude of what goes around comes around. Filipino have a tendency to surrender the future to luck. They have that strong confidence that everything will work out in interest. An interest without doing anything. So, that is the fatalism. That is the negative traits of Filipino. Second is manana habit. Procrastination. True-blooded Filipinos have the attitude of causing delays in accomplishing things or making transaction. When not interested or not in the mood, they wait or reserve until tomorrow or the next day to finish what they are doing or meeting their transaction. So that is the manana habit. Third habit, grab mentality. What is grab mentality? Crab mentality. Crab mentality, this is an attitude of some Filipinos where they tend to push each other down to clear the way for their. So, Filipinos is going to push each other down to clear the way for their own gain. Filipino people with this kind of mentality or attitude try their best to ruin each other either by making issues against the other for him to turn out bad to the public or one. So that is the crab mentality. So meaning crab mentality is a kind of mentality or attitude try their best to ruin each other. To ruin each other. So on how to ruin each other? Either by making issues against the other or him to turn out bad to the public or the company or organization. So, last, 4, hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, this is a trait of the Filipinos where criticism to others, failure to live with the moral standards of the society are inevitable. In the Philippines, morality is highly valued. Most of us try to live up to the standards set by the traditional society. So that is the hypocrisy. Fifth, negative traits of Filipino. Nengas kogon. Most Filipinos are very good at the start when doing something. Nevertheless, after a few hours or days, that excitement to do or accomplish something is lost. We become too lazy to finish what we have started. So, the fifth negative traits of Filipinos is nengas kogon. So simple. Filipinos is that was meaning that Filipino is only for the start, but it comes of after a few hours or a few days, Filipinos become lazy or so that is the negas kogon. That the reason that Filipino is only for the first. So, six, tardiness. Only in the Philippines that we have the so-called Filipino time, but not exactly referring to the Filipino time. Standard time, but again, we use it to refer to the tardiness of the person that we are waiting for who keeps on coming late to the set time schedules of event. So that's what we call that a Filipino time. So that is the tardiness. So Filipino time, that's what we call the Filipino time is the example of the tardiness. 7. Gossiping. Gossiping, Filipinos are found of talking about others' business. It is not true that only women are into gossiping. Even men can also be noisy on other people's lives. So, Filipinos have a trait that gossiping about other business. Not only the girl, but also a boy. Secrets are brought out, failures and flaws are emphasized, and relationships are destroyed. So that is the gossiping. So, 8. Blaming. Filipinos can sometimes be too self-righteous. When mistakes happen, we do not want to take the blame. We lack humility to accept our failures. 9. Selfishness. Being insensitive of others. So what is the selfishness? Most Filipinos are insensitive to the needs and situations of others. This could be an outcome of having too many problems that Filipinos are facing, and the tendency is to focus on their own needs first before others. So that is selfishness. So number 10. Number 10 traits, negative traits of Filipinos. Disobedience to simple rules and instruction. So that this is the number 10 negative traits of Filipino. Some Filipinos, despite of the understanding of the purpose of laws and ordinances, have inability to observe and follow them. Consequently, crime, victimization, and accident rate in the Philippines are constantly rising. Poverty is getting more rampant and lifestyle development is relaxed. So, that is the number 10 negative traits of Filipino. So, number 11 negative traits of Filipino. Number 11 is attention taker. So, what is attention taker? Filipinos are fun and people-loving race, thus attracting attention is natural for them. Nevertheless, it is a different thing to be an apple or couple mocks simply being an attention grabber. So that is the attention taker. Number 12. Number 12, negative traits of Filipinos: being onion skin or too sensitive. So, another habit or attitude that we need to change is our being too proud, which usually results to being oversensitive. If we think highly of ourselves, then we have the tendency to put a wall around us, and we have the tendency, and that is signboard on our forehead saying. So that is the number 12 negative traits of Filipino. So we will proceed to the number 13. Number 13 negative traits of Filipinos is living beyond their means. One of the reasons why a lot of Filipinos live in poverty is because of overspending. So, living beyond their means. So, this is the reason why a lot of Filipino is live in a poverty because of overspending. Since most people want to live an elite lifestyle, many resort to social climbing or living beyond their means. Sometimes some of us think that as long as we wear designer to clothes and shoes, and we send our children to the most expensive schools, it is alright to be swimming in credits and loan. So, that is the living beyond their means. So, fourth, passivity. 14. Number 14 negative traits of Filipinos is passivity. Passivity, lack of leadership. Filipinos' lack of initiative for change is also one reason why our country does not progress. So, passivity. So, meaning of the passivity, Filipinos is lack of initiative. So, this is the reason why our country cannot progress, because some of the Filipinos is lack of initiative. We keep on complaining against the government and other societal issues. However, we do not do anything about them. One of our excuses is the lack of faith that our small action can bring change. So that is the passivity. So the last negative traits of Filipino are, so number 15, the last negative traits of Filipino: some Filipino women give birth at an early age. So Filipinos women give an early age. So that's what we call a teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy, some just don't mind their own business. Some have many bad habits like drinking, smoking, or etc. Some for teenagers engage in prostitution. There are many broken families, a lot of bad words to choose from, which Filipinos just can avoid seeing dust. So, that is the 15 negative traits of Filipino. So, now, we will proceed to the three means. So, we will proceed to the three main traits under scoring Filipino values. So, there are three means underscoring Filipino values. First is personalism, familialism, and particularism. So, one, personalism. Personalism, Filipinos valued interpersonal relationship. It is firmly believed that harmonious personal relationship is the key to successful in the verse. So that is the personalism. So second, familialism. Familialism, Filipinos are family-oriented. Development programs and projects in the community are concentrated on the family. Decisions on matters is centered on the welfare and best interest of the family rather than on the betterment and interest of some individuals. So that is the familialism. So last traits. So the last trait underscoring Filipinos values is particularism. Particularism display behavior by the individuals, may it be good or bad, is blame against the family. So that is the three main traits underscoring of Filipinos values. So we will proceed to the four means obligation underlying Filipino values orientation. So four means. So four means is first is pakikiramay, pakikisama, bayanihan, and galang. So what is pakikiramay? Pakikiramay it is in the Filipino value of going out of the way to help without being asked unsolicited help. So that is the pakikiramay. So Filipino willing to help without being asked. So that is the meaning of pakikiramay. So second, pakikisama, smooth interpersonal relations. Regardless whether someone's views are agreeable or not, Filipinos are capable of getting along with it. Camaraderie, trust, confidence, and loyalty are enhanced and developed by this Filipino value. So that is the pakikisama. Third is bayanihan. Bayanihan, as mentioned in the preceding topics, Filipinos are able to render services and generous enough to extend help without compensation. So that is the third obligation underlying Filipinos values orientation. So the last obligation of Filipinos are galang. So what is galang? Galang. Filipinos are basically oriented to revert to the opinion of elders, first or those in authority during important discussion during social encounter. So that is the last obligation underlying Filipino values orientation. So that's all for my topic about the chapter 1, traits and attitude of Filipino. So that's it. So thank you and God bless.